An Indiana cultural landmark sets out to reinvent itself.
Frankly, I thought at first that it was a little too far out for Conner Prairie.
A recreation of a historic balloon launch. 2 years in the making, a $2 million gamble.
We were taking a huge risk.
An international team, massive preparation, and still everything comes down to the wire.
So it could be a big drama.
270,000 cubic feet of helium. Anything that went wrong was going to be a disaster.
The inside story of History Rising, Conner Prairie's balloon adventure.
You want these off? Yes, yes.
Today will change Conner Prairie forever, weather permitting. It is Balloon Inflation Day. What will be one of the biggest gas-filled balloons in the world is now sitting in a few humble pine boxes. The men who manufactured it and can turn what lies inside into something magnificent are more concerned about clouds. The entire job is weather dependent, and they have a very small window of opportunity.
For sure, the weather will be changed tomorrow. So this is why if we have a chance to inflate tonight, the problem is that if the wind comes to the envelope, it will be like a sail. So it will push the balloon, so it could be a big drama.
Jet-lagged and anxious, Eric Baclier leads an international team from the balloon company Aerophile. He and chief mechanical engineer Jackie Chatron are from France. Michael Warner, who built the envelope, or the balloon itself, and his colleague Johannes Luder are German. The flight trainer is Englishman Gary Stevens. While the company has worked for months with Conner Prairie in preparation for today, it is the first time they are meeting Conner Prairie project manager Kathy Farid.
I'm Kathy Farid.
I'm Eric.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Michael.
Michael, from Germany.
Funded for decades by a trusteeship, the balloon is the culmination of a 2-year, nearly $2 million investment for the newly christened Interactive History Park.
Conner Prairie became independent on January 1st, 2006. And what that meant for us is that we were able to dream.
The dream was to transform Conner Prairie. It has been nationally regarded as a place where interpreters, dressed in period costumes, brought 19th century history to life. President Ellen Rosenthal challenged Conner Prairie to become something more, a place that made history as interactive, as hands-on as possible, especially for families with children.
As the entire staff embraced this idea of engaging families with children, they started to come up with their own ideas.
Ideas like an animal petting encounter and allowing guests to learn how to throw a tomahawk emerged and were implemented. But some ideas went bigger.
It was the wildest idea. Came out of Dan Freese's head.
One of the ideas that we discussed was the opportunity to have our guests look at the 835 acres that we preserve from a bird's eye view.
Freese recalled seeing a tethered gas balloon as an attraction. It was exciting, but only that. There was no historical connection.
So then we began to look at, okay, how can we make a balloon experience fit our mission of telling stories about Indiana's past? So we began to do some research and then found the story of John Wise, who came to Lafayette, Indiana in 1859 to launch a balloon and to prove that airmail delivery was viable through the use of balloons.
The concept for what would become the 1859 balloon voyage at Conner Prairie was born.
Frankly, I thought at first that it was a little too far out for Conner Prairie, but the public was so enthusiastic and it fit in with what we were trying to do, so we went for it.
Okay, stop!
The team works to attach a 50-ton capacity cable from a massive winch. This will be the main tether for the balloon. The balloon installation team is pleased with the prep work they see completed. The sod is laid. All the cement, winches, and moorings are complete. It appears ready, and that is unusual for them, as is even being slightly ahead of schedule.
It's okay, now it's 11 o'clock. I'm still on the French time.
10.
It's 10. It's 10?
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
But for the aerophile project manager, there is always a sense that disaster may be just around the corner.
Eric is very dedicated to what he does, is exceedingly good at what he does, was exceedingly nervous about this, but was pretending like everything was fine.
Eric's current concern? No one can find the mooring ropes that were supposed to have been shipped from France.
So everything is on site except the rope, and except the rope to attach the balloon.
Eric was sure the weather was gonna break and we were gonna have a mess. Eric was sure that the volunteers weren't gonna show up. Eric was sure that the helium trucks weren't gonna come.
We got it.
Eric's job was to be sure that everything went wrong, and my job was to be sure that Conner Prairie had prepared properly and that we were gonna be fine.
One obstacle Eric and his team will have to work around is a press conference announcing the inflation. As they work to lay down a huge tarp to protect the balloon envelope from any scratches or tears, VIPs begin to arrive.
My God. Can I talk to you?
Yeah.
How long does it take?
They'll be out of here in half an hour.
Half an hour. Because now we are doing our best to be ready to inflate tonight.
Yes, I know.
So
I know.
we can't have these people on the platform around the site where we have to work.
Right.
Right? So what it would be good is that somebody take care of them, and please keep
them out of your way.
The inflation this evening at about 6 p.m. and will go on until well after midnight.
We need a tape on that line.
They told us to stop the taping until this is finished because it's too loud.
It's too what?
They said it's too loud, so we can't tape until they're finished.
While the press conference is clearly bothersome to the super-focused project leader, it will explain to the public that this balloon attraction will be one that takes its cue from a history rooted in his native France. The first gas-filled balloon flight ever occurred in 1783 in Paris, France. It was witnessed by prominent Americans like Ben Franklin and John Quincy Adams. The world was fascinated. The first free flight in America came 10 years later, 1793, in Philadelphia.
It's in our religion, our literature, our mythology, the whole notion of gods and heroes flying, something that normal human beings can't do. And suddenly, people were doing it.
Balloon flights became part of a massive change occurring during the 1800s, what would later be called the Century of Progress. It included railroads moving people faster than horses, developments in electricity, telegraphs communicating over vast distances nearly instantaneously.
The people in 1859 have seen more change than any generation in human history has seen before them. Balloons aren't new anymore in 1859, but people do see them as part of this, wave of change that's sweeping through their lives.